Revolutionary greetings at Hotep. Welcome to our Monday presentation. My name is Kwame Bencha, and we meet here 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Monday when possible to share little-known facts and information by experts in the field of economics and social political happenings in order to help empower people with the knowledge, get free from this debt-based monetary system that is designed to keep us working until we can't work anymore and living from paycheck to paycheck. That is the system that we have. And this information that we have here is to give you a way out, okay? So if you're interested in economic freedom, if you're interested in peace of mind, peace on the planet, then hopefully you'll stick around to get some of this information that we know is vital. Okay, we're going to show you a simple plan that has thousands of years of history that proves that it works to help you outpace inflation, protect your savings from inflation, from confiscation through inflation, or any economic crisis that may happen, whether it's personal or global. Okay, and also if you're interested in building wealth, generational wealth. We're going to show you how to accumulate assets that many people think cost a lot of money to get started, but in actuality, with a Mint Builder membership, you have access to physical gold and silver at wholesale prices. And in this presentation, we're going to show you why we should all be saving real money. There's a difference between currency and money. We're going to show you why there is a difference that most people don't know, even people in the industry of banking. Okay, so in the next 30 minutes, we're going to show you how you get wholesale access to precious metals. And if you're interested in helping other people learn about this information, your Mint Builders membership also allows you to have your own precious metal business if you want to, from the comfort and safety of your home or anywhere you are. We're going to show you a few slides here, and we're going to basically get started right about now.
It is glorious.
So welcome to this Mint Builders presentation. We are Ra Territory Royalty Warriors, and Ra is another name for the sun that sustains life for us here on this planet. When we say return to your royalty, what we actually mean is, if you haven't already, to Sankofa back to knowledge of self and love of self so that you can become what the world needs, one of those good servant leaders. The WORDS is an acronym for winning at receiving residual income over receiving salaries, because we know that a salary is not going to get you free. Okay. Many people, if they knew what residual income was, they would break it down a brick wall to get it. I am co-founder of Turn to Your Royalty Warriors, along with my wife, Sheila Benta. We founded this group back in 2019, when gold was about $1,500 an ounce, to educate people on the importance of saving precious metals versus saving fiat currency. So Warriors' first instructions is return order and balance. We're going to focus on that order and balance of our home, the economics of our home, which is the most important one for what's happening and what's going to happen. As I said, it's a Mint Builder presentation. Okay, Mint Builder and his representatives are precious metal specialists. We're not licensed financial advisors. We do not give financial advice. Precious metal prices may fall and rise, which means that the value of metals may go up and down over time. You may sell for more or less than you paid. Precious metals do not yield income. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Mint builders cannot guarantee or ensure or promise future market movements, prices, or profits. Must read that before we move forward. You see, our economy is in irreversible trouble. Are you prepared? All right. If you're not been living under a rock, you know that we got war after war after war that's going on our planet. And we have evictions going on big time, and inflation is really, really whipping butt. Then we got homeless crisis that they don't want to talk about. We just had an election, and some of the things that we're talking about here, they never mentioned anything about homelessness. They didn't. You see, we're going to show you that our currency is on its way to zero. So what can you do to protect yourself? Okay. One thing that you can do is understand that currency and money are two different things. See, currency, what we go to work for, we trade our time for, it is a medium of exchange. It's a unit of account. It's portable, it's durable, it's fungible, and it's interchangeable. That's the currency that we work for. Okay, that's what we pay our bills with, most of us. Now, money has all the same attributes. Okay, but it has one thing that currency doesn't have. It's a store of value. I hope you get this before this presentation over. This is the key word: a store of value. All right, because your financial wellness is our mission. What we're going to do here is show you how you can grow your wealth to help you reduce anxiety so you can enjoy life and live your dream freedom lifestyle. And there are many reasons why this is timely. See, global uncertainty all but dictate the necessity of a stable store of value. Inflation is winning, it's real, it's robbing us of our labor. Let me repeat that, all right? It is real, it is robbing us of our labor, okay? It's causing unrest in major cities globally. Globally, housing and grocery prices are not sustainable. Companies are laying off people in droves, and AI replaces a lot more workers. See, the days of finding a job with benefits that one can retire from, they are slowly, rapidly dwindling away. Central banks are printing cash at unprecedented rates, and perfect currency is all but gone digital. We have BRICS, something that did not mention during the campaign elections that just took place. But if you don't know about it, I highly suggest that you do some research and learn about it. We have FedNow. Many people use their cell phone to make purchases or plastic card. And we have different central banks throughout the planet working on a central bank digital currency. Maybe it'll be implemented, which is digital currency that's controllable, programmable, where the government will know exactly what you spend and where you spend it and how much you spend. Then we had the lasting effects of the pandemic that has interrupted supply chains and has caused inflation to speed up. And weakening of the currency will never stop. And these are not opinions, people. These are facts everywhere on our planet. And we're going to show you a short little video, about 12 minutes, all right? And I highly suggest that you might want to follow this gentleman here on his YouTube channel, all right?
It's obvious Donald Trump knows that we're fast approaching the last days of the dollar supremacy, and it shouldn't be too surprising that every 100 years or so, there's a change of the guard. And as of right now, the Federal Reserve note system has been going for 103 years strong as a preferred and mandated global currency. But could 2024 be the last year where nations are forced to use the Federal Reserve note and its underlying systems? And can 2025 be the year that the world shifts away from the dollar in exchange for something else? And by that something else, I'm referring to gold and perhaps his little cousin silver, because we all know what happened last time Trump got into office as a result of a lot of his Make America Great policies, resulting in gold taking a dip to the point where during the 2016 campaign trail from September, during all those Trump rallies, gold took a dip heading into the end of December of that year. And the price at that time was $1,100 or so. And then around January 20th of 2017, when he was officially inaugurated, gold touched $1,240 an ounce. And then during his entire presidency, gold steadily climbed to the point where he left office in January 2020. The price was $1,555. And now we fast forward from that $1,500 through the Biden administration all the way to the point where now he's entering the White House potentially in the next 50 days or so, and the price of gold is $2,641 as of today. And to me, that smells like trouble all the way around. And all this is not solely dependent upon the BRICS nations. It's every nation and person that realizes that the purchasing power of the Federal Reserve note is going extinct, and therefore it's in your best interest to run to safety and or create alternatives to use to protect and preserve your purchasing power, or else. And for some reason, it always looked like the roads lead back to gold. And in this video, we're going to talk about the 7 ways it always leads us back to the road, this barbarous relic that always has a way of uniting the world after disastrous consequences. So let's talk about this one. All right, so I want to take a quick minute, share some thoughts in reference to the road back to gold potentially, and how, as a result of Trump's recent tweet that came out, everyone and their mother has a comment on the social media sphere. So I thought I would just continue to add more to it and also share with you an interesting infographic that I came across on X that I thought was worth sharing. And of course, I'll link it down below so you can find out more for yourself and perhaps even follow that person. But once again, the goal is just connect with you, share my 2 cents on things, and try to continue to put together the pieces of the puzzle in order to highlight the importance of remaining tangible in an illusionary world of ones and zeros, it seems. And so as always, my goal in putting these little quick takes together is just a way to get you guys to think outside the box and to question everything and not believe in anything you're sold on from the mainstream media, even when it comes to the hypes and promises of your favorite politician that usually tells you anything you want to hear just for a vote. But anyway, if you guys want to hear more of these, definitely hit the thumbs up button to show your support for the channel, and then drop a comment down below. I do read them and respond when I can. But more importantly, subscribe to the channel and take this video and share it so more people can get an alternative perspective on what's going on when it comes to rethinking the dollar, which of course everyone is doing nowadays. And so let's jump right into it. So here we are now, a day removed from that initial tweet or post that was put out there by Donald Trump. And so here's the headlines as of today. Trump threat of 100% tariff against BRICS nations raises trade war fears. And so as I mentioned, as you scroll throughout X, you see a variety of comments from positive and negative. But as I take all this in, I realize that it's not so much about the tariffs that I'm concerned with. It's about the status of the Federal Reserve note, aka the dollar, and how it's going to impact us today and in the future. And as I mentioned before in the intro, we've been in the last days of the dollar supremacy for quite some time now. And I mentioned it in my previous video as to how the de-dollarization process has been in effect for almost a decade now. And so I find it very interesting that as a part of his policies now, the threat to the dollar is a primary topic of his. But then again, he's using the concept of tariffs as a way to try to shore up the supremacy of the dollar at the time where gold has already determined the direction the world's heading into. And so as you guys might remember, during this past summer campaign trail, he was speaking at the Economic Club hosted by Bloomberg News, and when the question of currency came up during discussion, and check out what he had to say about this.
Okay, currency, very important. Yes. And if you want to go to third world status, lose your reserve currency. We have to have that. We cannot lose it. If you go to, you'll go to third world status in this country because you take a look at the way things are running. If a country tells me, sir, we like you very much, but we're going to no longer adhere to being in the reserve currency, we're not going to salute the dollar anymore, I'll say that's okay. And you're going to pay a 100% tariff on everything you sell into the United States. And we love your product. I hope you sell a lot of it into the United States, but you're going to pay 100% tariff. He will then follow it up by saying, sir, it would be an honor to stay with the reserve currency. That will be like just playing. That's not even chess, that's checkers.
And there you have it. The idea of tariffs is a result of the idea of losing reserve status for the Federal Reserve note system. Because why? Our nation will become a third world country is basically what he said. But if you look even deeper into it, what he's not saying is the fact that our country's been trending towards a third world country before now, and even before his presidency even started back in 2017. I remind you once again that all of the 46 previous presidents, including himself, allowed this to happen by never addressing the true problem with our nation, which can be found at the federalreserve.gov website at the very top, right under the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, because it says the Federal Reserve, the central bank of the United States, provides the nation with a safe, flexible, and stable monetary and financial system. And clearly, losing 98% plus of your purchasing power has been flexible, but not too safe. So here we are now talking about more of the problems, but never dealing with the root cause of the issue in the first place. But then again, as I said before, never expect that to happen because that's how the system is designed. And so now we're going to hear more about what should and could be done as we approach the question mark phase of the end of this current dollar supremacy run that more than likely next year in 2025 will become quite obvious to the world. And the question is, where will it show up last, might I add? In the price of gold and silver, my friends. And of course, that comes after they blow up all these crypto asset bubbles to numbers that we could never have imagined before. Because as I've stated before, and I'm going to continue to say it over and over again, everything we're witnessing now is not by accident because it's been strategically planned for this day and time. And how do I know that? It's because of the MAGA wealth effect that started on November 5th of this year when Trump won the nomination for his upcoming presidency. And it's my opinion that everything he says and does will be designed to protect this by using this as a primary catalyst to illustrate, to kick off that illusionary wealth effect I talked about earlier. While he cannot and ever talk about gold and silver, and God forbid using the words United States Mint as the only constitutionally authorized issue of our currency. So what exactly are those 7 pathways back to gold that I referred to earlier in the video? But to keep it real sweet and simple, the 7 pathways that might just lead to the next gold standard that could be instituted by the BRICS as a conglomerate or just individual nations in general running for safety back into gold reserves the way the monetary system started over 100 years ago. And so the first phase of this current system that we're in now started as a part of the unity phase back in Bretton Woods in 1944. And just a little short history lesson for those who may not have been following along or might be new to the monetary literacy game. The unity phase, as it says here, was 44 countries that agreed at the Bretton Woods meeting that every currency will be linked to the US dollar, but only will be linked to gold. And the question is why? Simple. America held 75% of the world's gold and half its industrial might. And so at that meeting, a new monetary empire was born, not of conquest, but of consensus. All the global leaders gathered together and agreed upon the idea that was concocted by the same sphere that actually ran the central banking system and influenced politics in C. And then immediately after that came the boom years from 1950 to 1960s, which were the post-war phase. And in this phase, Americans owned 50% of all global manufacturing in the 1950s, and their goods flooded world markets. Every oil barrel, trade deal, international loan, all were denominated in USD terms. And then this created the American Dream era that went global, creating a middle class or working class golden age in the US as well as abroad. And like always, whenever power concentrates into the hands of a small few, there's abuse. And that's the very third one. The US ran up massive amounts of debt and eventually reneged on its promise to pay in gold. And then you have Nixon closing the gold window. It's unfortunate that abuse happens all the time, but then again, shouldn't be too surprising. It says after the Vietnam War, the US was printing more USD than it had gold. Foreign nations held 45.7 billion USD, but the US only had 14.5 billion in gold. And of course, Nixon's solution, he ended the gold standard without warning. The world was forced to accept paper USD backed by nothing. Here we are today, and those nothings have become the problem. And right after abuse, you got euphoria, the Reagan and Clinton years. Here it says Reagan's economy roared while the USSR collapsed. The US was the only world superpower at this point. So with Clinton, the Dow went from 3,300 to 11,000. Everything was priced in USD at this point. The US could print endless USD, and the world had to accept it, which achieved peak imperial privilege status, or as I said earlier, complete dollar supremacy. But it doesn't stop there. After the euphoria phase comes the elite corruption, which resulted in a decimation of the manufacturing base here in this country and the enormously large wealth inequality gap that has created dozens of billionaires while leaving average worker sometimes struggling just to make ends meet. Yet during the corruption phase, easy money went to Wall Street from serving the economy to becoming the economy. Manufacturing completely died. The 1% captured 95% of all gains, with the wealth gap hitting extreme highs. The US dollar printing hollowed out the middle class, destroying savings and crushing the American dream. And it's funny that you see all these bureaucrats, i.e. presidents, when they're able to get together and have some good laughs over their mighty accomplishments while they were in office. And what accomplishment am I referring to? The ones over my shoulder right here. These are the same guys that during the presidential campaign trail, enemies, but once their terms are over, they become best of friends. And next we got the dual threat. Here above my head, we got Trump threatening the world as a result of failed monetary policy and experimentation by the central banking cabal, beginning to threaten nations with the idea of taxing them excessively on goods and services sold in this country if they don't comply with the globalist agenda by staying on the dollar as a world reserve currency. It's like always, whenever you threaten other nations, you better make sure you got some gold to back it up, because every nation he's threatening has been accumulating gold extensively over the last several years to a decade plus. And of course, we all know the golden rule is that whoever has the gold makes the rules. And because the US never talks about gold, it's good to say that we don't have the gold no more. And so hence the idea of why the US, which includes a new Republican-led Senate and the House, along with Wall Street, are all excited about making America the Bitcoin hub of the world. and creating a Bitcoin strategic reserve. But with those threats comes the idea now of repercussions of our actions. And that entails what might be considered consequences. Because I don't think the world's willing to stand around that much longer and see this number continue to climb in dollar terms to figures that everybody and their mother know can't be repaid. And so now, as we head into 2025, we're going to see a lot more tough talk out of the Western Hemisphere, using arguing points such as tariffs, sanctions, financial terrorism, and all types of other buzzwords that's going to be used out of DC, all designed to distract us from what's really going on. It has everything to do with the fact that we're fast approaching the last days of the dollar supremacy. And it's during times like this where the powers that be cannot have the people find out what's really going on here and who's really behind it. Therefore, expect more distractions and diversion tactics to keep your eyes off of burning currency, which is going to be hard to do because the burning currency also reflects the debasement of our purchasing power, which ultimately shows up in the price of goods and services when you go to the store and when you look to buy things. And as Trump mentioned during our video, that's the result of third world status. And lastly, once all said and done, it looks based upon history, everything goes back to being united under a gold standard of some kind. And then ultimately, this is all how you end up with stories, whether they be fact or fictional, that lead to headlines that say things like, how could a BRICS gold currency impact the global economy? And so there you have it, the 7 pathways back to a gold unit, or gold being used as a uniting monetary medium to bring the world back into some type of stability amidst a world full of debt-based Ponzi IOU nothings being exposed for what they are. Empty receipts and broken promises that ultimately ruin dreams and destroy nations, i.e. third world status. But anyway, wanted to take a minute, share with you some things that I thought was very interesting to say the least. Don't focus on what's being said, focus on what's being done. And a good way to make sure you stay on top of all that is just focus on where the gold flows, who's trying to reset the price, and lastly, how much are you able to get with the remaining purchasing power and the dollars that you do have. And as always, I couldn't talk about the problems without laying out some probable suggestions.
Excuse me. So, there's just one thing that I want to say. That information was extremely important and relevant, and it's really happening here in real time. The world is moving away from the U.S. dollar, and the plan that the future president of the United States has is not going to work. He's going to just continue to dig this country into a deeper hole than the last administration has created. Another thing about that video, the gold standard ended during the Vietnam War, not after the Vietnam War. And we're going to share why later on in this presentation. So why precious metals? Because they hold tangible value over long periods of time. Remember I said gold is a store of value, all right? It's time tested hedged against inflation. It's easily explainable. Even children know that it's good to have gold and silver. It's a stable store of value during uncertain times like we have now. And every fiat currency has gone to zero in value. And it's the best product to be garage qualified with if you have a business, because precious metals don't expire, they don't go old, they don't lose value. Over time, the longer you hold it, the more valuable they become. Most people dream of becoming wealthy, achieving financial success, and living life on their terms. But the reality is that many will never realize their dreams because they don't know what action to take, so they don't take the right action. We participate in behavior that doesn't promote our success, and then we have the dream killers, people who don't encourage us, who don't support us, who basically think that you're crazy for trying to build wealth, for trying to get free, for trying to do more than the average. You see, a lot of people think that luck is associated with wealth, but it really isn't. If you get lucky and hit the lottery for $1 million, if you don't have the proper education, then you're going to end up broke like most people have become after hitting the lottery, because they don't know what money is and they don't know how to grow their money. Okay, all they know is how to work for cash, basically. And so, Mint Builder, here you can get the right education, because the education that we got in school basically taught us to be good, obedient workers. Basically, that's what it was all about. And so you got to have the right plan, okay? The right plan, and we have a plan. We're going to show you this plan. Like I said, it's got thousands of years of history to prove that it works. Once you start this thing, you just have to be consistent. You just don't have to just don't give up. Sometimes you may not able to do the whole thing every month, but sometimes you may be able to do more. You may be able to do more during the month. So consistency is key to building wealth with this amazing program that we have. So what is this that I'm talking about, okay? It's simply pay yourself first. Just make sure that it's not made out of paper. What do I mean when I say pay yourself first? A portion of everything that you earn should be yours to keep. We should all be saving at least 10% of what we earn. At least 10% of what we earn. All right. And if you can't do 10%, do 5%, but you need to start saving, but you don't want to save currency because it doesn't store value. The longer you hold it, the less valuable it becomes. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that simple fact. So the first step is a savings. Many people think they need more income to start saving, which is one of the reasons why over 60% of the people here in the United States don't even have $1,000 saved for an emergency after working 10, 20 years on a job because they never started saving. All right. So, and you can expedite your savings with assets. Okay. Precious metals are assets. All paper fiat currency that most mistakenly called money has one destination, and that it is zero. You see this picture of the US dollar. When it was created in 1913, the Federal Reserve was created, and that's when the dollar was born. It was worth $1, okay? You could buy a whole lot with $1. All right, so in 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt made an executive order that made it illegal to hold gold coin and bullion and certificates, okay? And what they did was they gave people currency in replace of it. And then what did they do? They increased the value of gold. So people lost like almost half of their wealth. Government robbed them. That's right. So in 1944, Bretton Woods was established and the US dollar became the world's reserve currency. And the reason why, because we had the most gold at that point in time on the planet. We had the industries in this country, then we had the booming years. But something happened, all right, in 1971. At the height of the Vietnam War, Nixon closed the gold window. And I believe, it's just my belief, is that one of the reasons why he closed it was that they couldn't continue to create cash out of thin air. So what did they do? I mean, they couldn't continue to create cash because they didn't have enough gold in their reserve. So now, once he ended the gold standard, now they can create cash out of thin air. So now they can continue to fund the Vietnam War. 1972 had the most casualties in the Vietnam War. And then the United States pretty much has been in a war ever since 1971 and haven't won not one of them unless it was basically, and also in 1971, Nixon ushered in the war on drugs 2 years before that, but he needed money to fund that also. And the war on drugs basically was a war on the poor and black families. Poor and black families, low-income families. Because, perfect example is that today here, this is the 2nd of December 2024, President Joe Biden pardoned his son. And Joe Biden was the one that created the crime bill that locked up thousands, if not millions of people on drug-related offenses. But he pardoned his son in 2014. Any crime that he's created since 2014. That's right. That's what happened. Joe Biden did it. So the U.S. purchasing power and currency in circulation. See that red line going across? That's the currency in circulation. So from January 1971 to June 2018, the U.S. money supply increased 32.3 times. That was accompanied by an 84.1 drop 84.1 drop in the purchasing power of the dollar. Price inflation is a direct consequence of increased money supply. And so since they don't have to have the gold in the back anymore, the U.S. is continuously printing and creating it by hitting a few keys on a computer. And the U.S. is in so much debt that it can never be paid. Precious metals here at Mint Builders come in two distinct forms. We have bullion and numismatics. Bullion is crisis protection. This is what you want to be stacking. Okay, it has lower premiums. It has outperformed cash savings. All right, and numismatics, their price is a little bit above bullion price. They're not dependent upon the market, and they're sonically preserved. It's like buying a rare piece of art because only a few are created, and they're not circulated out in the general population. Here's an example of one of our numismatics. This is a 1 ounce store. Members purchased it at $45 in 2018. By 2022, it was selling for $175 or more, which was a 95% increase in value per year. So there's a secret to almost instant wealth gain. So here, this is what we have here at Mint Builders, some of the products that we have at Mint Builders. And we also have other things like 120 serving package of long-term emergency food. Things are going to get a lot worse, y'all. Believe me when I tell you. We also have infinite banking, okay, where you become your own bank and borrow from your own self at lower interest rates while still earning interest on your whole life insurance policy. This is things that the wealthy know about, not the middle class or the poor, right? That's why we say you can get the right education here at Mint Builders. We have free metal storage for our members. And then we have this amazing product called My Mint Wallet. I'm going to show a little quick video to help explain a little further detail on this product called My Mint Wallet.
Physical gold meets digital benefits. Mint Builder has taken physical gold ownership into the future with My Mint Wallet. This is the most cost-effective and secure way to own gold and silver. This proprietary product provides you with gold and silver access previously dominated by large institutions and banks. You now have direct access to instantly buy, sell, or transfer your precious metals through My Mint Wallet. Unlike ETFs, exchange-traded funds, you will enjoy 100% ownership of pure, physical gold and silver that is securely stored in segregated and insured vaults with our partner IDS of Texas. The benefits of My Mint Wallet are extensive and impressive. Your benefits include extremely low premiums, especially for wholesale members, digital tracking to the 100th of an ounce of gold and 1 ounce of silver in real time, 100% direct ownership of pure physical gold and silver, secure vault storage at no additional cost, fully insured accounts, the ability to quickly sell in real time and have your funds transferred directly to your bank, or use your funds to purchase silver and gold from your shop to have physically delivered assets. Daily audits to continually ensure each account is properly funded. Seeing the value of your precious metals holdings in real time all the time. You can even transfer precious metals from your wallet to another member's wallet. 100% of your precious metals purchase is deposited on account as physical gold and silver in the highly secure IDS of Texas vaults. You have complete ownership over your gold and silver holdings, and with the click of a button, can sell at the current market price, have the funds placed into your wallet, and use these funds right away to pick the items you would like to take physical delivery of. This allows you to have the flexibility to choose from many different options for physical product delivery. You also have the option to simply have funds deposited directly into your bank account. We even provide you with the ability to transfer gold and silver to another member. Your My Mint Wallet is the best way to own the most amount of gold and silver for the lowest cost, while keeping your metals safe from confiscation and robbery. In turn, giving you absolute control and flexibility with your wealth. Owning precious metals has never been so easy and at such low premiums. Be sure to get started with My Mint Wallet and start building your Mint today.
That is my Mint wallet. Like I said, it's an amazing product where you can get physical gold and silver at very low premiums in digital form, where you can buy and sell or transfer to members with a click of a mouse. And also your membership helps feed starving children. We partnered with a company called Feed My Starving Children. 91% of all proceeds, donations that they receive go to directly benefiting children in need of food. So you can set up your monthly auto savings that you can change, pause, or cancel at any time. These are some of the products that you'll find in your account when you log in, where you can get 1 or 20 or as many as you want on a monthly basis to start building that wealth and protecting your savings, like we said earlier. So we have two distinct people here at Mint Builders. We have wholesale customers, like we just mentioned, everything, all the benefits and more that our members get. They get to purchase wholesale membership, purchase precious metals, and they're not sales associates. Okay, they don't share their information with others, but they know the value of saving precious metals. Then we have sales associates, people who sell wholesale customer memberships, who sell precious metals to other people, and helps build a sales organization that does the same thing that they do, helping other people build wealth. Because we don't just stop at accumulating real assets here at Mint Builders, we also understand that many people are seeking more income today. So this is what you get for your membership. If you decide that you want to help other people, you get your own precious metals store, your own shop where people can go and purchase precious metals at wholesale prices, and the company will reward you. Then we have sales associates platform. They provide all the software that you need to track what's going on within your business at real time. You get marketing materials, QR codes, banners, websites. Like I said earlier, you get the right education. You have video training that you can learn more about why you should be saving precious metals versus saving fiat currency. All right. And then we also have this free Silver Lead capture page where a person can, they want to take a little tour, they can get a free silver bar. They just pay the shipping. And what will happen is the system will start sending them emails to educate them on why saving precious metals is essential. Then Mint Builders handles all the payment processes. You don't have to worry about collecting any money or paying anybody. Mint Builders pays every Monday like clockwork on your commissions. And you don't have to have any inventory other than your own, because we highly encourage you to become one of your best customers. Start saving precious metals. Mint Builders handles all the packing and all the shipping, so you don't have to worry about any of that also. And there's unlimited commission. You can make it as much here with Mint Builders as you desire. So our membership here at Mint Builders, if you pay annually, it's $300, which comes to $25 a month. Imagine having a business that only overhead is $25 a month. This is some of the other benefits that you get with your VIP membership. You get discounts on travel and attractions. You get a free wealth planning app. You get wholesale access to my Mint wallet, which we shared earlier. We have an open vault market seller access, which means you can sell your precious metals to other members within Mint Builders. We have the knowledge base where you can learn more about it. You help children. Like I said, you get free storage and much more with Mint Builders. There's 13 streams of income. If you want to learn more about the different streams of income, you can get back with me or somebody that invited you to this presentation to learn more on how to earn and how you can earn here at Mint Builders if you decide that you want to have your own precious metal shop. So if you don't have any residual income or passive income, or at least a plan for residual income, then you're living a very risky life because there is no security in a job, even a high-paying one. So be smart. Don't rely on just one source of income, right? The only protection against injustice in man is power, financial, physical, financial, and scientific. From the book, The Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Aurelius. So if you're ready to get started, get back with the person that shared this with you. Let them know if you have any questions, they'll get them answered for you. And we want to thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. If you saw it and you watched it to the end, please subscribe to our channel. Please like and share this information because we know this information is vital. Okay, things are get a whole lot worse than they are, people. You don't have to believe me, but the writing is on the wall. Tariffs is not going to hurt anyone but the consumers here in the United States if the future president of this country goes through with his economic plan. It's going to get a whole lot worse for the working class. Then we know that they got this organization called Doge, where they're going to be eliminating a lot of federal jobs. So don't get caught with the wrong thing, and make sure you got more than one source of income. Okay, because like I said, it's going to get worse. It just is. So I'm going to stop our screen share here. Want more information? You can actually scan this QR code right there. Watch a video right there. Short little video will explain a little bit more on why you really want to get started sooner than later. And we're going in right.
Sometimes the riot is a quiet one, where the battle is to love yourself and function in society, where voices of reason are muted by anxiety, like gaining notoriety is selling your soul. So we tend to go no deeper than the shallow water level, trying to keep us overhead in the face of all the slurs and the stares, mentally frozen, paralyzed by fear of failure and success. So we lock, stock, barrel, running while it's crumbling. These towers and that babbling with the babies in the bath and the stash under the bed on my head, spinning from the circles and the puppets and the strings that they pull, then we move. Reactionary warfare never produces when it's on the field. Feeble and foolish, what tools and what weapons are we using? We need some new ones. Real revolution, it's real solutions. What we've taken on the ways of the ones who conquer with their guns and religion and division. Got my inner me looking like my enemy. Real revolution.